Hello, my name is Alicia, and I am doing my informational speech on Helen Caldicott. Helen Caldicott was born August 7th, 1938 in Melbourne, Australia, and is an anti-nuclear advocate and Australian physician. She's had her hand in finding several associations and even an institution, all with their main focus on opposing the use of nuclear power, weapons, and military actions. Caldicott graduated with her BS in surgery and her MB in medicine, and she then took a 3-year fellowship in nutrition at Harvard. After the internship, she completed a 1-year residency and a 2-year fellowship in pediatrics. She set up a clinic for cystic fibrosis and taught pediatrics for a few years at Harvard. Her interest in how dangerous nuclear energy is was piqued when she read a book about the nuclear holocaust in Australia. She was immediately moved by what had happened and took a stand against nuclear power. According to Helen, there is no such thing as limited nuclear war. A full-scale nuclear war between the U.S. and Russia would lead to a nuclear winter, a new ice age, killing most humans and other complex life forms on Earth. A nuclear war fought with only 1% of deployed operational nuclear weapons could lead to the deaths of close to 1 billion people from nuclear famine. Dr. Helen Caldicott spent many years educating the public about medical hazards of nuclear age, and she also educates on how the behavior of humans needs to change to stop the environment from being destroyed. Earlier on in her career, she started to talk about the health hazards of radiation as a pediatrician, and she then convinced Australia to sue France because they were testing nuclear weapons in the Pacific. She refers to these nuclear dangers as insanity of the nuclear arms race, and she left her career to put all of her attention into this matter. The Women's Action for Nuclear Disarmament was founded by Helen in 1980, which focused on trying to get the government to spend their money on other things than nuclear energy and more towards unmet social issues. She was the founding president of the Physicians of Social Responsibility, and they also educated people on the dangers of nuclear power, nuclear weapons, and nuclear war. In 2001, Helen founded the Nuclear Policy Institute, and the Caldicott Foundation for a Nuclear-Free Future was founded in 2008. The institution acts to promote our nuclear energy and weapons-free renewable energy-powered world. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster that occurred following an earthquake on March 11, 2011. The energy accident happened at the Fukushima nuclear power plant. The active reactors shut down their sustained fusion reactors after the earthquake, disabling the emergency generators that would have been used to cool the reactors. This caused 3 nuclear meltdowns and hydrogen-air chemical explosions and the release of radioactive material. If another earthquake happens that is greater than 7 on a Richter scale, some of these structures could collapse, releasing even more radiation. If an earthquake breached a pool, gamma rays would be so intense that the entire site would need to be evacuated for good. Helen says, Fukushima is bigger and much worse than Chernobyl, yet we are buying Japanese food imports. We are eating fish that are likely to be contaminated, and there is no telling whether or not the atmospheric radiation cloud, which hovered over Japan initially, will not end up here. Fish can swim thousands of miles against currents and could be contaminated with radioactive bioconcentration, and imported cars could contain air filters that are contaminated by the event of Fukushima. Since the radioactive bioconcentration cannot be seen, or tasted, people all over the world could be affected by this disaster. 6 million Americans live within the current 10-mile evacuation zone for U.S. reactors. Over 120 million live within the 50-mile evacuation radius required for U.S. citizens in Japan during the Fukushima nuclear disaster. First responders have consistently stated that while the U.S. evacuation plans exist, none are implementable. Helen has used her medical degree to help her wage a 30-year war against nuclear power and weapons. She was able to recruit most of her physicians of the prevention of the nuclear war, and together they have achieved being able to help end the Cold War. Helen has been very successful and is a powerful woman throughout her lifetime, and she continues to have a passion for making a difference on preventing the use of nuclear power and weapons. She's a woman who has made a difference. Thank you.